if you want to build wide and round shoulders, dumbbells are a great equipment to do so. Here is one of my workouts that I did with dumbbells only. It's similar to my workouts that I did when I was in lockdown years ago. And of course, in my attic, I only had a pair of dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells. Here I did this workout in a gym, so I had a little more choices there. But without further ado, let's check the workout and see how it went to build those big shoulders. I started the workout with the overhead press, which is not always what I do. I usually start with lateral raises, but this time I started with overhead presses and I did a little higher volume that I'm used to, because the dumbbells weren't as heavy as I usually use for my overhead presses when I'm in 6 to 8 rep ranges. So I decided to do a little higher volume. I did also around 10 to 12 reps on each set, of course focusing on the negative, on the full range of motion, and also all the reps to be in a controlled manner. I did 4 sets here, and I will make sure that you guys will get full workout in the description below. So when it comes for the overhead presses, when you are doing heavy overhead presses, I suggest you to have a spotter, especially on those last heavy reps, because otherwise you really risk an injury. For example, if you on your overhead press lose the strength just for 1 second or for a moment, and you tend to go into outer rotation with the heavy weight in your hand, then you really risk to tear something. It happened to me years back. My arm just went like this and I heard it. It didn't hurt at that point, but in the afternoon, I mean a few hours after workout, it started to hurt and I was out of the game for a few weeks, at least with the upper body. So the next exercise are the lateral raises, which for me this is my favorite and also the best exercise when it comes to build the shoulders, because you really isolate the shoulders and you can overload them with, of course, different kind of weight. Also, if you use cables or machine, then you have different tension curve on the delts. So this is where I usually do 3 sets here, and I start also around 12 reps and then build with progressive overload. I build with the weight up. Also decided here to do slower controlled reps, because I see a lot of guys usually in the gym tend to use heavy weight, probably a lot of times too heavy, and then just swinging the weight up. I also used to do it that way, but I personally found it more effective, at least for me, to do it slightly lower weight and more controlled manner, controlled fashion. Of course, if you have a spotter again, that will help you to really squeeze those reps in the full range of motion. Okay, so be it, do them, but be careful also, because the joint is really the shoulder joint is really prone to injuries, so be careful when training shoulders. The next exercise, I was going for the reverse flies or bent over lateral raises, and I usually do this exercise towards the end of my shoulder workouts, maybe for 2 sets, because the rear delts get a lot of work from all the rowing and the back workout. So basically, when doing my shoulders, I focus on my lateral raises, overhead presses if I want to build some strength as well. But other than that, it's more or less just here and there that I add some directly rear delt work and also front delt work. In this gym here, this was in Bali and it was a lot of humidity. Here in this gym, of course, we had the air conditioning and everything, but almost everybody, at least guys, were training shirtless, because you tend to sweat just by entering the gym. But at least they provide us with some fresh and old towels. They were put in the cold water, so you can really use them to refresh yourself. And of course, hydration here was very important as well. The last but not the least, I did the front raises, which similar to the rear delts. I usually do just 2 sets here because the front delts gets a lot of work from all the bench presses, also with the overhead press. So to isolate, I do the front raises. Of course, you can do also with the barbell, but I like to do them with the dumbbells also because unilaterally, basically every side works per se, and for me, my right side is stronger than my left side, and when using dumbbells, of course, I can work on those imbalances. So here, these are my exercises of choice when it comes to shoulders. 4 different exercises. All you need to do are dumbbells, and you can effectively train them and make them grow. And I hope you guys found this somehow helpful. At least maybe you got the idea. And if you don't have enough, for example, if you don't have enough weight to use, or you are limited with the equipment, I like to do also when it comes to overhead presses. In this case, I didn't do them, but sometimes I do the isometric overhead press, which means that I grab a pair of dumbbells and I squeeze the reps with one arm with one side, and then I switch to the other. And the non-working shoulder, non-working arm, just hold the weight there, and you will see that you will start to feel fatigued. So maybe an example, I will do, let's say, 6 reps with my right arm, right shoulder, then I will do 6 reps with my left, and then again I will try to do 6 or as many reps as possible with my right, and again with my left. You can, of course, really fatigue and overload the muscle also with much less weight than you are used to do usually on your, let's say, shoulder day or your shoulder presses. So just an idea. I hope you guys found this video somehow helpful, and see you in the next one.